everyone. Welcome to episode number 19 of Mrs. Vale's book list. Thanks for hanging in there with me. This has been super fun to experiment with podcasting and figure things out as I go along. So hopefully you're enjoying the content. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Bridge Home by Padma Venkatraman. As soon as this book was over, I wanted to read it again. Actually, I listened to the audiobook, so I wanted to listen again. By the way, the audiobook is narrated by the author, which is one of those treasures, so the story felt all the more real as it was told by the gentle, beautiful, Indian accented voice of Padma Venkatraman. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing that last name right. The characters in this equally heartbreaking and heartwarming story are so incredibly lovable. This is one of those books that opens the eyes of the reader to glimpse what life is like in other parts of the world, where childhood can be far less comfortable than it is here in middle-class America. I love these types of stories for middle school students. There's so much educational value, real-life application, and cultural insight, but it feels like simply reading about other kids just like them in a lot of ways. And let's just address how beautifully appealing the cover is. If you have looked up this book, oh my goodness, that just made me want to open it so badly. The inside does not disappoint. It's just as beautiful. Here's the premise. Viji is only 11 years old when she realizes it's no longer safe for her and her sister Ruku to live with their abusive father, and she cannot trust her mother to do anything about it. So she makes the decision to sneak away into the world of homelessness in India. Protecting herself and her sister is not easy, especially since her sister has an unnamed mental disability. Suddenly, Viji must constantly be on guard, trying to determine who can be trusted, how to find food, how to make money, and where might be safe enough for them to sleep. Before long, Viji and Ruku find friendly company with two young homeless boys on an abandoned bridge. Together, the four children grow to be family, protecting and taking care of one another. The boys help Viji to see that her sister is capable of more than she thought, and that she can be a productive member of the team. And to her surprise, Viji witnesses greater moments of happiness within Ruku than she has ever seen at home. Homeless life in India is not easy, and Viji must work harder than ever just to stay alive. As the children uncover more details about one another's pasts, Viji grows in her consideration of religion, how to have hope, and how to move forward with dreams when so many things stand in the way. But when two of the children become ill, Viji is faced with the ultimate decision. Can they trust adults to help, or should they stand their ground and try to persevere on their own? Which choice leads to a future? As Viji's choice and all its after effects unfold, we get to see her character grow stronger in all the ways we hope she will throughout the whole story, even ultimately reuniting with her father and facing another uncomfortable decision. Does he deserve forgiveness? Should he get his children back? This is a heroine story of love, friendship, grief, and hope and perseverance. As a mama, there were so many moments where my heart just ached for children who are living this reality. To be 11 years old, living on the streets of India alone, not knowing who to trust and who to run from, it's just unfathomable to me. Yet it is reality for some children in the world, and it's important that we know that. As heartbreaking as it is, it's a powerful story that can enlighten middle schoolers, high schoolers, and even adults to be thankful for the comforts and the security that we, at least most in my geographical region, are accustomed to. There are countless moments in this story which are cause for pause and reflection, which would make it a great book club option. It's also really inspiring to consider the question of what can be done for these children and reflect on some of the programs that do exist to reach them. Also noteworthy to me is that the children in the story don't come from the same religious backgrounds. One of the boys is a staunch Christian, specifically Catholic, clinging tightly to his beliefs for hope of reunification with his family someday, while Viji's family was Hindu. It's clear in the story that Viji doesn't really know what to believe, but that she comes to understand the power of the hope that it brings when facing troubles in this life. This can be another great discussion starter for students to reflect on the hope they have in Christ, making applications to their own lives, and even considering mission fields that exist all over our globe. This is a 5-star read, in my humble opinion. I wanted to take these characters home with me and wrap them in my mama arms and love them. I think you will too. And for our appropriateness factors, violence and scariness. The first 2 chapters set the scene for Vigi's reasoning for running away from home. Her father comes home mean and abusive, breaking their mother's arm. The next day, he hits both daughters when Vigi tries to confront him. That's the last we see of his abuse, as the children run away at that point. There are 2 different men with unspecified bad intentions who chase the girls during their homelessness journey, but both times the girls are able to escape without much incident. The other children in the story share their past experiences of being beaten and losing family members to a tsunami. Children die as a result of illness and starvation in this story. Language. There's none of note. Sexual content, none. Drugs and alcohol. Vigi and Ruku's father is said to have a pattern of coming home after heavy drinking, which is when he's the most abusive. So, to be fair, this is a heavy story. There's a lot going on, and a lot of it is not pretty. So I just want to preface with, this might be better for kids who are a little bit older, more mature readers, kids who can come and ask questions of adults that they trust. If they do have a question about the story, it might be a good read aloud for you to read with them as a family, so that you can have really healthy discussions about it. And for some kids, it might just be a little bit too heavy. So it's a phenomenal story. I think it's really important, and from a kid's perspective, it is very entertaining and gripping to read about the life of these kids. But as the parent or teacher, you may want to screen it first just to make sure that it's okay from your perspective, for the level that your child is at. This is the type of book that moves me to want to do something helpful in the world. I think it has so much potential to move middle school students in the same way. Stories like this have power to change the readers and inspire them to take action, to think through solutions, and to pray. I hope that you enjoy this story if you do choose to read it. Happy reading! Thank you so much for listening today. As always, you can find show notes and the web version of Mrs. Bale's book list at KristenEmilyBale.com. That's Kristen with an E and Bale with a B-E-H-L. May God bless your day.